Hello my lovely friends, welcome to today's video. My name is Waneka. I want to say a very big thank you for supporting me on this channel. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. God bless you. I love you so much. And if you are new on this my channel, please do me well also to subscribe on this my channel. Please support me. God bless you as you do so. On today's video, I will be showing you on how to cut some overlap blouse, and I'll be taking it step by step in a way that we understand it. So let's get started. First of all, I will cut the front part after I cut the back part. Now I fold my dress into two. So what I do, I start to measure 4.5 from this folding part here. I measure 4.5. This 4.5 stand as my overlap blouse. So this is 4.5 here. So I measure it and make straight line. I'll first of all remove this 4.5 that serves as my overlap blouse. Alright. So the next thing to do is to connect it together. Connect it and make a straight line. I hope you are seeing it. Make straight line. Please support me to subscribe on this my channel. Support me, please. I beg you. Now after I've take my 4.5 for my overlap, I will now start to place my measurements. I'm not going to start placing my measurement from this side because this side serves as the overlap blouse. I will start the measurement from this line here. I hope you see it from this line here. That is where I will start. So the next thing to do is to measure my shoulder. The shoulder I will be using today is 14 inches. Alright. Now 14 inches, I divide it into two. This is the 14 inches here. Alright. I divide this 14 inches into two to get my shoulder measurement. So what I got there is 7 inches. So this 7 inches is what I'll use for my shoulder measurement. Now this is it. I hope you see it here. From here to here, let me show it very well. From here to here, I measure 7 inches for my shoulder measurement. If you have been following my video, I said whatever I use for my shoulder, that is what I will use for my armhole. You don't need to start to measure your armhole again. Use your shoulder measurement for your armhole. Now my armhole is 7 inches. That is what I will take for my armhole. It's the same 7 inches. Alright. So after that, I take my ruler to make the straight line. Connect the straight line together. Now after that, I will now make this straight line for the chest line. I call this thing chest line. This line here. Alright. So this is the chest line there. So the next thing to take now, I will measure my underbust. Whether you are making padded or you are making just blouse without padded, you must place this underbust. That is what that will bring the fitting of your dress very well. Now the underbust I'm using today is 14 inches, and half inches is the dress. Now this dress, it will have you can attach gather on this down part, or flare on this down part, or straight skirt on the down part here. Alright. So what I use for my half length is 18 inches. I add 1 inches for the sewing allowance. Like I said, if you are making straight gown without the one that does not have cut in there, please, the half length you take is 20 inches. I said it in all my video. But if you are making dress that has a cut, that's something that are going to attach flare on it, what you use is 18 inches. You minus 2 inches from your 20, you use 18 inches. Alright. Now after that, I will use my ruler to make the straight line. I hope you get it. Now I do the straight line like this. I made the straight line. Alright. This is a straight line here. Now this one is my chest line. This is my underbust. This is my waistline. Now after that, the next thing to do is to curve my armhole. Now before covering my armhole, I will now take my measurements. Don't take your measurements from this side here. This side here serve as my overlap. If you want to take your measurements, start taking measurements from this line. I said it again. Take your measurement from this line here. Now I place my tape. My round bust is 36. All right, 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Is 9 inches. This is a 9 inches here. And now you add enough allowance because this is paper. If you are cutting it on the fabric, you add like up to 2 inches for the sewing allowance. So the next thing to do is to come straight to my underbust. My underbust is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. So this is my 8 inches now. I will add my dart allowance because I'll be holding that on it. I'll be placing that on this dress. All right. I will add 1 inches for my dart and my sewing allowance. Please always add enough allowance. After sewing your dress, you cannot trim it up. It is because I'm using paper. If not, I will add up to 3 inches. It's better you have enough allowance. After you sew your dress finish, you can trim off the excess than you don't have any and then you have short of material. At the end, you start looking for how to join it. No, always add enough allowance on your work. After finishing your dress, you can trim off the excess. Now for my waistline here, my waist is 34. I divide it into if 4 is 8.5. All right, 8.5. I will add my dart allowance and sew. So after that, I will connect everything together from my bust to meet with my under bust and with my waistline. I hope you get it. So the next thing to do now is to curve my armhole. I use my ruler to curve my armhole, my French curve. In case if you don't have French curve, see what you do. From this armhole here, you divide it into 2. This armhole, as is 7 inches, you divide it into is 3.5. So you connect it to meet with this. Because I have French curve, I don't need to do that. The next, what I will do is to place it like this from this and curve it. Please try and get French curve. French curve makes your work easy. All right, it makes your work very easy. See how it curves this very well. All right, so that is the help of this French curve. It helps your work very well. So the next thing to do now is to measure my neckline. The neckline I'll be using for this overlap blouse is 3 inches. I hope you are getting it. 3 inches. So this is my 3 inches here. All right, so from these 3 inches, I will use my ruler to make straight line to this place. I hope you are seeing it. So I use my long ruler. I'll place it, make sure that I touch these 3 inches. Remember I said from this line here, I measure the width of the neck I'm using, 3 inches. So from that 3 inches, I place this ruler on top like this to make it up to this side. I hope you see it up to this side. This point here, this damp part here. I will make straight line as a kind of V line, V. So you can make it, you can give it little curve, but I want this V neck to be there. So this is very easy to cut this overlap blouse. Very, very easy. This is the easier way of cutting this overlap. You see how I made straight line from this point here. From this point, I made straight line to meet with the neck I'm using. Let me show you very well with this thing. With this this 3 inches, I connect it to. All right. So the next thing to do now is to cut it out. Like I said, you can just make a little curve on it. All right, you can just make little curve on it. You can just make little curve on it, but I want it straight like this. So I will be cutting it now. Let me say this one again, in case if you want to add that on it. This is how you will do that. From this place, from this line here, from this waist side, I said my waist is 8.5. For you to add that from this place, that 8.5, I will divide it into 2. So when I divide it into 2, I got 4 1/4. This is the 1/4 here, 4 1/4 here, 4 1/4 plus the sewing allowance. I will add, I'm adding half inches for it. That makes it 5 inches. All right, so these 5 inches I use for the dart. So this is the dart I'll be using in case if you're adding yours dart. So from here, divide your waist into 2. After dividing it, you add half inches for the sewing allowance. So the same thing for the back. That is how you do the back this also. So the next thing to do now is to cut it out. So this is how I will cut it out. I will first of all cut this side first. I promise to teach you step by step so that everyone will understand it. All right, so after cutting this side, I cut the armhole. Please, I will advise you to get French cut for your work. Please, it's very, very good. It makes your work to come out very well. All right, so let me cut out this line I drew. This line is not there. I start taking my measurement from this side, so it's not there. So I'm going to cut it out first before I cut my overlap. All right, so after I cut it out, so the next thing to cut now is to cut out my overlap dress. I hope you see that this overlap dress is very, very easy to cut. Very, very easy. The same thing if you are sewing it, that is very, very easy. So I will start to cut it now. Follow the from the tip there. I cut it. Remember, it's V. I cut it. I didn't add any curve on it. All right. So be careful when you are cutting your work. In fact, after drafting your work, you go through it again before you cut it out to avoid mistake. All right, that is how they taught us in when I was in fashion school. I say after you draft your work, you go through it again over like 2 times so that you won't make mistake. So the next thing to do is to notch this my dart and notch this my overlap. Now first of all, I will notch this overlap here. Please don't forget to notch overlap side. If you don't notch it, you will not know how to join your overlap. So I notch this side also. This is the dart, this is the overlap. So after that, I will now open it. Look at it. I'm done with it. Is to open it. I'll open it. All right, so it's very easy. So see it now. So I come down to this look at the way I notch the notching side of the overlap, and this side of notching part we join together with it. So this is how to cut this overlap dress. Very, very easy. See? So I will use pin to hold it so that I will make mistake. So I will use pin to hold this side. The same thing on this side also. Pin to hold it. So this, you see how the overlap, how it lasts very well. It will last very well on it. I hope you are seeing it. All right. So this one here, this notch here serves as my dart. This one here as my dart. This is my overlap. I hope you see how it laps very well. I hope you are seeing it. See it here. So please try, make sure that you notch this overlap side so that you won't make mistake. All right. So like I said, the next thing to do now is to cut the back part. Before cutting the back part, you will cut the bias of this side. You use bias to turn the front of this side. You can use bias to turn it you can use lining to turn it, whichever one. But but I will use this I will use needle to sew it so that you see it very well. All right, so I will hold my dart. This is my dart here, and this is in the dart of the second side here. So after that I cut the back parts. Like I said, you can attach it on gather or flay. It's very easy to cut it. Just give it a try. Let's cut the back part.